Sunrise Extra on a Thursday. We are talking all things holiday events and what you love to do, what is happening this year, what is not happening, the changes we're seeing. And we had a great show showing you live during the newscast of Portland International Raceway, where they do, it's called Winter Wonderland. It's like a holiday light drive-through. So in a few seconds, once our photographer Eric gets up live, we can show you some of the lights here in this show. But we want to know, like, what are your favorite traditions to go do with your family during December? Do you guys have favorites? I know, Drew, you've done this PIR thing a lot.
Yeah, sorry, I was bummed. I was going to say that Peacock Lane, that was our favorite. We always went to Peacock Lane.
Yeah.
You know, there's another neighborhood. I think it's the Starkwood neighborhood. Does that sound right? I had to look that up. I wasn't thinking about this until you mentioned Peacock Lane, Brenda, but Peacock Lane, it's always been sort of a park your car somewhere, get out and walk through the street, right? And so this year they decided it is not good to have a bunch of people shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, walking through that street. So that's why they're not doing Peacock Lane. But there's another neighborhood, I believe it's the Starkwood neighborhood in Northeast Portland, that is still doing their neighborhood lights display, and they have a pretty good one too. It's been around for like 60 years.
Wow.
But it's always been a drive-through deal. They never encourage people to park their cars and get out and look. It's always been, hey, drive through our street, drive through our neighborhood. And so that one is still happening. I'll look that up to make sure I have the right neighborhood. I believe it's the Starkwood
So Peacock Lane is not happening.
It's not happening. I mean, people did. We drove down the lane. It was just like one little thing, but yeah, I'm sure they probably do that, but it must be blocked off because, you know, not everybody's going to get that memo.
Yeah.
Right. I was wondering about that. You know, would they keep the lights off just to discourage people from doing what they didn't know was not happening? You know? Anyways, I was going to mention Winter Wonderland as a tradition in our family for at least a few years. And admittedly, it's probably been 3 Christmas seasons since we've been out there, but we went for like a stretch of 5 straight years, from the time the boys were about 5 until they were 10. And honestly, never mind the lights. And we enjoyed the lights. But the reason that thing worked for us is because the boys knew they were going to sit on my lap and steer the car. And now you're driving around PIR super slow. I mean, you're barely doing 5 miles an hour, if that. I mean, cars are kind of stopping even to check out some of the different light displays around that 2-mile track. So you can imagine a 6-year-old kid, you know, driving on a 2-mile track, thinks it's the best time in the world. You get the hot chocolate going. There was always like a radio station that was tuned in exclusively at PIR that you could tune your car radio to, and they had the holiday songs that kind of matched up with the lights as you drove through. So I always thought, and it was not cold. Like, I like zoo lights. And zoo lights this year is cool because it is drive-through, but I did not like going to zoo lights on some of those cold nights that we went. And you're like, my God, I'm freezing my butt off out here.
You got to bring the thermos of bourbon hot eggnog.
But what's better is your car with the windows rolled up and the heat on, right? That's why I liked Winter Wonderland.
Yeah. Do we have video of PIR? I know we have Eric's microphone.
No, I think Eric's there right now, and I think he's live, and I think we're going to take a shot like that.
Oh, hey, Eric.
What's up, Eric?
It's so good to see you. We usually just see your shot.
Are you okay, buddy?
What is he? Oh, he's in the car with the big window.
My eyes are frozen open.
Oh, no.
My heaters, I'm trying to thaw out my eyes. They're frozen wide open right now.
Tell us the story. You were in the back of a pickup, right?
Being on the track. I was in the back of a pickup truck, standing up, going around the track, and yeah, it was cold. It was cold, but very beautiful out here today.
Even that moving of, like, you know, maybe you were going 5 miles an hour, but even moving 5 miles an hour makes it all the colder. And I know you have to keep your hands out and you can't put the gloves on because you're trying to do
the we don't need to go any faster.
You know, the older I get, the more I enjoy being in the warm studio and looking at cold people outside bring us the news. Thank you, Eric.
Were the shots steady? That's what I want to know.
Yes, sir.
It looked
I was so frozen that I was pretty much like a tripod.
It looked wonderful.
I wanted to zoom in a little bit more on some things.
It was funny because I just envisioned you with a camera in the car pointed out, just kind of, you know, taking it easy, going around the track. I didn't even think that you were on the back of a truck freezing your
it was totally that
off.
way.
So these are Eric's shots right here, Eric. If you want to talk more about the experience.
No, I'd have preferred to have been inside a vehicle. I would have preferred to be inside a vehicle with some hot cocoa and maybe a little something added or something like that. But no, I was doing my job. I was outside. I was behaving myself. But these guys, the volunteers, I wanted to show you more of the lights, but first of all, it's starting to get a little too light out now with the sun coming up to really fully appreciate the beauty. But Ronnie, my driver, he was great. He took me around, and now they're trying to get all the lights off, and now they're volunteers. They need to get out to their jobs. So, and we understand that. So we have a few video clips, I think, we're
watching them right now.
We're possibly going to show of running around the track. And I'll tell you what, if you're not in the holiday mood right now, and many for good reason aren't, something as simple as just running around this track and seeing these lights could put you in a really good mood, and or at least help you get into that holiday spirit.
Trish Anderson on our stream says, used to do PIR ever since my boys were like 3 and an infant, and now they're 24 and 21.
Yeah. Wow.
I love family stories like that.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Did you also let your boys steer the car?
It's a big tradition for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. A good selling point too. And it's, it's 2 miles. Drew, you were saying it's between like 20, 30 minutes once you get, onto the starting block, I guess, to go around.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge time commitment, but, it's worth it.
Admittedly, some years you spend as much time waiting in the line to get onto the track as you do riding around the track. But again, you're not standing outside in the cold. You're still in the warmth of your car. Hopefully you enjoy the company, which is typically your family. And this year they're also encouraging because of COVID. Right now this year they're saying no more than 6 people in a car. They're really trying to help discourage the idea of people from multiple households getting into a car and experiencing it together. But it is rather inexpensive because you are only paying for the carload. You're not paying for an individual to go check out a light. You're not paying for you and your spouse and your kids. It's just the family paying one price to go through. We talked about the prices being different this year at PIR, depending on which day of the week you go. Weekends are a little bit more expensive than weekdays, but there's a great deal. You can save like more than $10 if you buy your ticket ahead of time at Safeway or Albertsons. I believe those tickets are only $20 for your carload. But they said that those tickets are in limited supply. At some point they'll sell out, so check out your local Safeway or Albertsons to see if they have any left.
And Drew, a quick pitch, if you would, for the Sunshine Division. So important where this money goes.
Yeah.
So they've been around for 98 years, right? They started in 1922. They provide emergency food and clothing relief to families every year. This year they're having their busiest year ever, I'll put it that way, although it's not busy the way they would like to be busy. So many more families have called on the Sunshine Division this year. They've struggled because they haven't been able to do their normal fundraisers. They have a big one every year on the golf course. Didn't happen this year. They have a few others that had to be canceled this year. So this is their event. A few years ago, they went from just being the beneficiary to being the owners. They had a great supporter of theirs that put up the money so that the Sunshine Division could buy Winter Wonderland. So now they own it, they operate it, they put a lot of time and effort into it with the hope that each winter during the month of December, they'll be able to generate a lot of money for that organization. Again, it's the Sunshine Division, and they have been doing great work for our community for almost 100 years now.
Shall we get to the people?
Yeah.
The people on the stream. Have you been looking at some of these comments? This is funny. Willie, you are hilarious.
Willie.
We celebrate Festivus, he says, full on. I bring out the metal pole and try to lift both my kids on it. We air our grievances politely just before dinner. Then we do push-up contests as the pole stands in the corner with lights on it.
Holy cow.
Love it.
We got a Seinfeld
Festivus for
fan.
the rest of us.
Yeah, no kidding. Something else that's new, and people were asking, what are some other ideas? The Christmas ships start up tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's for 15 nights on the Columbia and Willamette Rivers. Something's totally free. You can see it all kinds of places. All these boats that put up awesome lights on board. Rod, you've checked it out, a bunch of times. You said you used to go down to Newport Bay restaurant there on the waterfront back when.
That was a great spot. Beaches up in Vancouver and won the entire new Vancouver waterfront, but unfortunately people, you're not going to be able to congregate in those restaurants and watch like is such a tradition for so many people. But still, to get out and take a view, it's really something very uniquely Portland.
Yeah.
Angela says, good morning, everybody. She drives around looking at lights, but I have my kids build a gingerbread house each year. And then she says there's this house in Newburgh that is lit up with all the lights and timed music. So she swings by there too.
I know what house that is in Newburgh.
In
she
Newburgh,
said. Okay. All right.
Hey, Eric Patterson, I know you're still in the car. I heard you clearing your throat. You live on Sauvie Island. You are one of those lucky houseboat owners in that beautiful part of our area. Do the Christmas ships go around there? Are there like cool holiday things to do on the island?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. On December 13th, it's a Sunday, I believe. They have the Scappoose run that goes along the Multnomah Channel and up to the Willamette. And actually, we're kind of in an interesting spot on the island because they do two different passes in that same evening. So they'll all come and then come back again.
To do on the island?
Adam. So it's a great spot to check out the Christmas ships, and what a show that is! Everybody's hooting and hollering, and I don't know. Maybe I'll have a live stream. Up this year. We're not going to have anybody over this year. We usually have a handful of friends over to check it out and stand on the deck and have the heat tree on or the fire pit going. But this year it's just my wife and my two cats and myself, and we might shout hi to the neighbors, but it's still going to happen. It's going to be a little bit more low key.
Yeah, well, that sounds fun.
You know, we have a viewer named Trish who watches this show very regularly, and Trish says every year she must be applying for sainthood here in a few years, because she says every year I take all 8 of my grandkids and 3 great niece and nephews, so 11 kids altogether. She takes them to a different local holiday event. She says some of the ones they've done in the past: the Oaks Park Train, Zoo Lights, PIR, the Spirit Cruise, Spirit of Portland Cruise, right? She says we're hoping to do something this year that we can do together on foot, 6 to 10 feet apart from other people, but doing it outside. And again, on foot, she puts in bold letters. She's wondering, do we have any ideas of things that are still happening that you can do outside on foot while social distancing? And I'm racking my brain.
Yeah, the Christmas.
Well, I will tell you, so one of my favorite events is the Grotto off of Sandy in Portland. And I looked at their website this morning. Now, due to the latest restrictions, they have shut down their typical evening Christmas tour, if you will, through at least the 16th. And then fingers crossed, depending on what the restrictions are, they may or may not be able to open up after that. But that, to me, is my favorite.
We did that last year for the first time, Rod, I think on your suggestion, and it was wonderful. I mean,
really nice.
Gosh, my entire childhood growing up Catholic, everything came flooding back to me. But the actual grotto area with all the candles lit below it was just gorgeous. And they had a little puppet show that was, talked about the meaning, the story of Christmas and the birth of Jesus. And they had all this petting zoo area. My daughter loved petting the goats, and so I'm bummed that they're not going to have that this year.
And they often have different choral groups performing there as well. It's really wonderful. So, but we'll see. They're definitely shut down, according to the website, through the 16th of December at this point.
That was decided, though, Rod, a few weeks ago. Even if they do reopen on the 16th, there will be no choral groups this year, in no way, shape, or form, because obviously you get those groups together. They're standing side by side and shoulder to shoulder. It really was, I believe, the largest choral Christmas event in the country, or something along those lines. Because when you add up all the concerts, they would do like 5 different concerts each night of local groups singing Christmas carols, and they would do that for the course of 30 or so nights. So added all together, it was a huge musical event here in Portland. So the music aspect is absolutely out, unfortunately.
All right, this is getting depressing. Stop it.
Okay, stop it. Let's read some more from the stream then, because lots of people are weighing in. Levada Ketterman, good morning to you. She says driving out to Gresham and looking at all the beautiful lights in the neighborhood. That's something she and her family likes to do.
What neighborhood is it? Let us know. What's a good holiday light
where
neighborhood?
in Gresham specifically?
Yeah, we had Trish Anderson mentioning Franklin Street in downtown Vancouver. I think we've had our photographers go there in the past. Don Kiplinger saying, good morning. She says, spending time with family and friends in past years, can't happen this year. Love Marionberry and Granny Smith apple pie, which is why I'm reading this comment. I love pies.
Yes.
Always praying for snow. She lived in Vermont, where she almost always had a white Christmas, and then she moved out here in '88, and always dreams of having, you know, our next white Christmas here.
Well, speaking of food, Melinda weighed in about what she likes to cook, tamales for her family.
Ooh.
Delicious.
Really good tamales.
Yeah. Sounds wonderful.
Elizabeth Marie mentioned something that I think is probably my favorite holiday activity. It is simply staying home and watching Christmas movies or specials on TV, which I do look forward to. Seeing those same movies that you watch every year, but like, you know, you don't watch them the rest of the year because then that would take away the specialness of December.
My favorite is The Grinch. That is my favorite all time.
The original cartoon?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah,
none of the Jim.
Oh no! There's a new cartoon version.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that one was too scary. My daughter loves the. I think it's like Benedict Cumberbatch who does.
Did you watch the entire Grinch movie with Jim Carrey, Brenda? Have you seen it?
I think I suffered through most of it.
I thought it was pretty good too. And in fact, I would think
he just looks creepy.
But his performance as the Grinch, like a human being pulling off the Grinch character, I think like he was amazing in that.
Yeah. There's the NBC one that's airing here soon, and everyone is hating on Matthew. What is the guy's name?
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the one I thought you meant.
It looks,
it's bizarre.
Sorry, NBC.
Hey guys, was it last year that I went out to the Oregon Garden for the first time for their Christmas lights that they normally have in Silverton? Jackie Lentz says Oregon Garden in Silverton, and I tell you, I had not been before, and I'm assuming that's not going to be happening this year. I don't know.
I have the answer too, but I don't want it to depress you, Rod. I have some answers.
Okay, but in years in the future, put that on your bucket list. I thought that was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
So
somebody on. Is it closed?
It's actually open if you stay at the resort. So they're not opening up to anyone, but if you actually stay at the resort,
is it?
The Oregon Garden has a hotel.
Yeah, they have a hotel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nina, yes.
Never been there.
It's the Oregon Garden Resort and Garden.
Okay.
Joshua Madrid again.
You can check it out if you stay at the resort, is all I'm trying to say.
Okay, thanks, Drew.
It took a long time to get there, but God love you.
I got interrupted.
We don't usually do all the typical holiday stuff, but I do enjoy drinking scotch and or holiday cocktails by the tree and letting memories of former holidays wash over me.
Scotchy, scotch.
There you go, Joshua.
Somebody on YouTube says, Morphman21, there is a great holiday light display in Gladstone. It's on Ridgewood Drive. It's very similar to Peacock Lane.
That's really. Michael Garrison, Kaiser Lights here in Salem. They usually have a Christmas parade in Kaiser. I've done a news story on that too. And they have wonderful lights. No parade for 2020, but Michael Garrison, a shout out to those lights down in Kaiser. Yeah.
There's something that we have done, and gosh, I got dragged to it when I was a little kid. And it's totally kind of random, but it's a fundraiser for Ainsworth Elementary School up in Northwest Portland. And they do this holiday home tour. And there's like 8 houses up in the West Hills, and they all decorate. They have, designers come in and have a bunch of Christmas trees and decorations. And some of the houses, now it's more like, these houses are for sale. Come, hopefully buy one or something like that. But you get to walk through all of these beautiful homes. They have Christmas music playing and hot chocolate or cider. And you just drive around. They give you a map, and you buy a ticket, and the money goes to the school. And for some reason, that gets me like so in the Christmas spirit. It's like right after Thanksgiving, and you get to just, peek into people's houses. And I love that, and it's canceled this year.
The peeking part's always fun.
I like the peeking.
Yeah. Anita Allen says she's trying to be patient and make some new traditions, like designing our own Christmas cards.
Oh, that's cool.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Absolutely. And then Willie weighs in again. He says they put names of Christmas movies in a Santa hat, and then they pull the names out at random every Friday and Saturday and watch whatever we play.
That is such a good idea.
Isn't that a great idea? I love that.
Willie, we did that last weekend at the Carney House. Do I have a moment to explain that? Oh. We actually I said, hey, everyone at the table, put 2 movies, your 2 favorite Christmas movies, into the hat. And we'll go through, and we made this a whole longer process than it probably needed to be, much like my storytelling. So we pulled the names out of the hat. We went with the names like we didn't pick. Like, okay, we're not watching this, this, and this. It comes down to like, hey, Caleb, it's going to be your movie. Whatever your second movie was, Caleb, it's going to be yours. We kind of figured out who wrote down what. And Caleb goes, I didn't even want to watch this movie. I said, well, why'd you write it down on a piece of paper? It was a Christmas story. And I said, well, why'd you write it down? He goes, well, I couldn't think of a second one. So anyways, we didn't watch the movie that we pulled out of the hat because the kid didn't want to watch it anyway. It was a very confusing moment in our house.
Drew,
good
thumbs
idea.
up for Chevy Chase, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I think that's Nina's favorite, but I do like it too.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites.
Jeff Lucas says NORAD Santa Tracker. Yeah, we haven't seen that yet.
That is kind of cool. Yeah,
I believe that started yesterday.
that is cool.
Can I say I think it's stupid? Is that bad?
What?
No, it's not.
No, you cannot
It could
say
be the closing
that.
words of the show since we're out of time.
There you
Is
go.
that what you'd
Yeah,
like?
we got a little
That's what I
Today
like.
Show cut-in to do.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
She doesn't like our NORAD Santa Tracker? Come on.